The name is all over Nashville, on a science building at Lipscomb University, a subdivision and office park in Green Hills. But not many know much about the life and legacy of A.M. Burton. A.M. was a founder of L&C, the life and casualty insurance company that launched Nashville's first modern skyscraper. It remained the tallest building in the South until the mid-1960s. And there was a companion radio station, recognized still for helping to teach the Bible by day and pollinate rhythm and blues music by night.
WLAC Radio, Nashville, Tennessee.
Just a few blocks north of that iconic L&C Tower stands a building in literal and cultural disarray. What A.M. Burton considered his greatest achievement, what was known for decades as Central Church of Christ.
You could see it from the Ryman, boarded up. What are the chances that I have a job that continues to bring me to this place that was also a church, that I see A.M.'s work? That was his passion. And all the ways that his story was brought to me, it's just so fascinating.
I don't know if a more consequential person that ever lived in Nashville than this man. He was born in 1879 in Trousdale County, and a farm kid, and he went to a rural school for like 2 sessions. I mean, he didn't even come close to an 8th grade education, but he was like so many people who could be described that way. He had an intellect that was pretty discernible, and a moral fiber that was people just kind of saw this guy's got something special about him. When he was 17 years old, the family said, "You need to take your grandmother a milk cow." He said, "Okay." And of course, she didn't live in Trousdale County, she lived in East Nashville, so it was 50 miles. So he made the 50-mile trek with the cow, delivered the cow, and then thought he'd go ahead and stay because there were some jobs available in Centennial Park, what would be Centennial Park. The Centennial Exposition was trying to get underway, and he had to use a pickaxe and a shovel for a year and make $1 a day doing that work.
And that's where he first started saving half of what he made every day and building for a future.
And he went from there to become an insurance agent at age 18. Worked there for 6 years, managed to save a whole $1,000. Then he raised another $24,000 because people again had identified that this guy's got something special. So with $25,000, he launched the life and casualty insurance company.
He felt that somebody did not have to be highly educated to sell insurance, but they had to have good soft skills. They had to have an understanding of human nature. They had to have a reason they had to understand why they were selling insurance. And I grew up witnessing a very generous example, and it was always explained to me, and I'm sure these are the words of A.M. Burton, when somebody is financially secure, they are more likely to be generous. It's uncertainty that makes somebody grip what they have.
100 years have passed since the founding of Central Church of Christ. It became a ministry identifying social needs generations ahead of its time.
He started the church right over here, kind of behind where the public library is now, 6th Avenue, Commerce Street, right there. But by the time he came along, it was a very downtrodden neighborhood. I mean, a lot of crime, vice, and all that implies. And that's the group he wanted to serve. And they built a little building, not a opulent, wonderfully stained glass windows or anything, just a functional, good building, and he went to work. And they had, not only did they have their church services every day and at nights to accommodate people's schedules, he started an outreach to folks who lived in the community. They started off with 50 members, and within just a very short time they had 1,000 members. They had a library. He thought, well, the people need to be able to be educated, and it's a free library. They had a dining room for people. Again, these people do not have, 2 nickels to rub together sometimes. A modern kitchen that he provided to let them to have good sanitary meals. If somebody could pay a little bit, they'd pay, but if they couldn't, they didn't have to pay. They had clothes distribution for people who needed clothes. Some of these people couldn't go get a job, so they didn't have attire that was even close to being suitable. Upstairs, they had a medical clinic with an operating room and beds, and doctors would come in on schedules for free health care for people who needed it. Dental services, the same thing. Daycare, a woman's, a widow with some children to take care of. She's got to get a job. Who's going to take care of the kids? Church provided for that.
The driving force was to create community between the haves and the have-nots, between the street pauper and the businessman. And they said, we want everybody to be welcomed here. If you entered that building in the night, you had to have a flashlight because there were so many people sleeping in the pews, sleeping on the floor. Nobody was without a place to rest their head.
They ended up having buying an abandoned hotel and refurbishing it and turning it into a place where young working girls and women with children could stay for a nominal fee. They had, when the Cumberland flooded in 1927, they were feeding the people who lost everything, along with some other churches as well, giving out food. The women in the church got together and they would have massive canning of fruits and vegetables to feed. It was just this outreach, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And even supported 2 foreign missions, one in South America and one in Africa, and then another one in the South. While they're doing this, is in the Depression by this time. During the Depression, they're just killing it. He was giving something like in the order of 75% of his income went to the church. That's what he did with it. He wasn't trying to put his name on a building either. It was just like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
In the early 1930s, a family from Texas was involved in an automobile accident 9 miles out of Nashville. The police called Central Church. The family's young boy was killed in the accident. They had no money, so Central conducted the funeral and buried the boy in one of the church-owned lots at Spring Hill Cemetery. The family remained in the church's care for several months before moving back to Texas. That's practical.
Yeah.
That is practical, boots on the ground love.
And he was asked at some point, well, why did you do this? And he had a very simple answer. My favorite passage from the book of Matthew is, I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. That was what he lived by. He was actually a Christian who walked the walk.